it's me, Dr. Shefali. I just want to make sure that, hi everyone. I wasn't sure if I was live, but now I see that I am. Hello. So I will be doing these teachings, as I have mentioned before, every day here from Eastern New York time at noon. So for those of you who wish to join me live, I will be here every day I can. And if you are not on Facebook or want to send it to someone who's not on Facebook, I do send it out in my newsletter as well on a daily basis. So make sure that you or the other person is signed up to my newsletter and you will get this. Hi everyone. It's another day. Here we are. So today I really want to focus on the not knowing of life and how the only constant knowing is the not knowing. This is a really hard lesson, a wisdom teaching that most of us humans simply fail to grasp. And we fail to grasp it because of our clinging and our infantile desire to know the future. And it's in this clinging, which is really conditioned, that we can know the end of the story. You know, all of us want to go to the end of the book so we can find out how the story ends, is our human propensity. And this human propensity, which is natural and human, causes tremendous suffering. We all want to know how this damn story is going to end. We all want to know what's going to happen after we get our degree. We all want to know how life is going to turn out. So what we do to fake this knowing is we pretend. We pretend we know. So we parents do this really well with our children. They ask us, Mommy, what's going to happen tomorrow and then the day after, and what's going to happen in my future? And you go, well, tomorrow we're going to go play tennis at 4 o'clock. And then on Saturday, you will have a play date with Mary at 3 o'clock. And then on Sunday, where grandma's going to come and visit. And then you're going to go to 6th grade and then 8th grade. And then after that, you're going to go to college and then you'll get a good job and then you'll get married and then you'll have children, just like me. Then you'll be just like me. So we give our children this fake idea of certainty by this checklist. So we create a checklist, and every culture has a different checklist. So for example, when I was growing up in India, because I was a girl, a female, I had a slightly different checklist than my counterpart brother who is male. So he got a different checklist, I got a different checklist. My checklist and his checklist kind of went parallel, kind of. His was more specific, when you go to college, you will learn one of the 4 or 5 main things that boys should learn. You'll go to engineering school, or you'll be an accountant, or you'll be a doctor, or you'll go to business school. So those were one of his things. I, on the other hand, was given more of a lackadaisical, you could study history, or you could be a teacher, or you could go to culinary school, you could be an interior designer. So as a girl, in a weird way, I was given a lot more options. The boys were only given a few things to do, So if the boy said in India, I want to be an actor, it was quickly cut off the list. That's a hobby. That is not a profession. That is not a career. So boys in my culture were given more of a defined way to be. And I was given more of a flexibility, but also I got the unnerving sense that I wasn't being taken seriously because it was a dibble-dabble, do what you want. Oh, you let me indulge you. You can do whatever you want. But no one was really taking me seriously. So interesting, but all being conditioned, very cleverly being conditioned, brainwashed, seduced, puppeteered, gently but surely. And then we were keeping the same. And then by 23 or 24, when my parents or culture would tell me, by the time you reach 23, 24, it's like, oh, cut out the list, tear up your sheet, because then you're going to get married. And then that's it. Then we don't know. Then you're going to have children, and then the end of the woman's life, right? Or the beginning of her life, she was told. So in these prescription lists, we have been seduced and conditioned to think we know. And we kind of count on, as children, that this will come to fruition, this will come true. And we keep thinking that in the summer we'll do this, in the winter we'll do this. And And in this fake bubble, we all live. When the bubble bursts, as it does in every life, and as it surely is doing now, there is a great pandemonium in this pandemic. An internal revolt, an internal tantrum, an internal resistance that this falling off the prescription list is not the way things should be. Right? Now, of course, our children can protest. My daughter is like, okay, hello, I was supposed to be on spring break right now, and I was supposed to be on summer break right now, and whatever it is. Our children can protest because we have conditioned them to protest. But when we protest, it is now time to re-examine this way of thinking and ask, what am I protesting? What shouldn't be the way it is? Right? This idea that this shouldn't be the way it is, it's as if we know better. We know how it should have been because the calendar said and the schedule said and my organizer, my planner said that this is what I should have been doing on the 15th of April. I should have been paying my taxes for one thing. Oh, we're all happy about that, right? So in many ways, we have this fake idea that we know what we need to be doing in any given moment. Forget that we think we should know the future. We think we need to be knowing in any given moment what we should be doing. Now, on a basic level of life, this is true. We should make plans. Let's meet at 8:30, let's meet at 12:30, and then period number 7 and period number 8, and this is when I take my lunch break, and this is my schedule at work, and we're off on Fridays. Sure, go ahead and create some order to give you an idea of what you should be doing. But on another level, which is the real level at which we should be living, the real wisdom level upon which our entire mind should predicate, is that this idea that we know what we should be doing is an illusion. Now, if we don't have both awarenesses, that on one level we need to know because we just need to fake this life, but on another level, the true level of life is that we do not know anything and we should not know anything. And that is the true should. On this fake level of life where we're kind of just faking it, okay, let's meet for lunch on Friday in 2 weeks. Yeah, let's meet for lunch, okay? And we both kind of wink at each other. If we were doing that, then we would be understanding the illusion on that level. But no, we're not conditioned to wink when we say let's meet in 3 months. We actually think we're going to meet in 3 months. Are we idiotic? We actually make wedding plans a year in advance. And we take it very seriously. And then we order the flowers and we think we know who we're going to marry, as if the groom or the potential groom or bride is going to stay the same a year from now. And then when we actually get married to them a year later, because the whole year from the decision to make the wedding plan and to plan the wedding to the after the honeymoon, we actually don't even notice the potential groom or bride anymore. We're like, I'm just going to get married. Now the bride especially is just thinking of herself as the bride. She has not even paid attention to this person she's going to marry. Then after the honeymoon, and maybe after a few months, then she's like, who are you? Like, who are you? And he's like, the same person I've been all this time. And the woman is like, no. How did I miss this? Because we miss it. What this analogy, this metaphor, that we miss the moment because we are so attached to the destination. We're so attached to the future. We're so attached to the outcome. And this is where we put our focus on the end game, on the end result. And we miss the whole point of it, which is the journey. The reason we miss the journey and we focus on the destination is because we're conditioned to focus on the destination. We're conditioned to know, to want to know, to crave to know, how is this damn story going to end? And in our obsession with the outcome, we are not interested in the details. We're not interested in the moment by moment. We're really not. So for women especially, whether you want to admit it or not, we are conditioned to want to get married. We're conditioned to want to have children. But all the things till then are kind of missed, or we're conditioned to be successful. So let's just get there, but we don't realize that from here to there are a whole series of infinite cause and effect. We are not taught to pay attention to that. So we tell our friends, okay, we're going to see each other in 3 months, but we forget to wink. What I mean by that is we forget to say, okay, we think we're going to meet each other in 3 months, but we're pretending like we're in control of the future. So let's just pretend together. But we both know we're pretending. We never do that, right? So when we get married, we put the wedding ring and the vows. I vow for the next 65 years to love you, not even 65, till I die, right? But no one is winking. And even the priest or the rabbi or the guru or the sadhu or whatever, nobody's winking. Everyone is taking this very seriously. Yes, we shall all predict the future and bind ourselves to the future. Really, everyone should be winking, like, okay, who are we fooling? We think we know what we're going to be doing till death, do us part. We don't know. At least the rabbi or the priest should say, okay, but you guys know that nobody knows the future, right? But nobody's saying that. Everybody's very serious, crying. Oh, wonderful. But really, honestly, people, what are we doing? I'll tell you what we're doing. We are doing what we're conditioned to do. Pretend to know how the story is going to end. Pretend to know the future. And we're all living in delusion. Really, we should be winking all day long. When we say, okay, I'll come for tennis at 4 o'clock, which is in 20 minutes, we should be winking because we don't know if we're going to be at tennis in 20 minutes. Really, what this means at a deeply symbolic level is that sure, you can plan on this conventional level of dialogue and conversation and planners and schedules. Sure, go ahead, have a party, color code your entire freaking organizational planner, color code it, think you are in charge. But on the real level of life, please develop the wisdom and the awareness that you don't know diddly squat. And the true knowing is that you don't know. And if we don't understand that that is the true knowing of life, that is the real jewel, wisdom, PhD that we all should be getting, Nobel laureate that we all should be achieving for, the wisdom that the true knowing is that we don't know anything, then we will forever be mired in suffering, as we are seeing right now. Now, we are suffering right now because it is an unprecedented shock. It is an unfamiliar way of living. We are cooped up in our house with housemates and roommates that we don't know if we like anymore. We certainly didn't think this would happen. This is not why we became parents. We did not become parents to stick in the house with these children 24/7. No parent signed up for this. Okay, we signed up for at least some zoo trips and leaving them with some nanny and going to daycare sometimes and being able to go to the gym and go to the bar. This is how parenting was manageable in our heads. But this, what it has become, what it really is, that we are with our children 24/7, no, I did not sign up for this. And to be with my partner, as much as I love him or her, till death do me part, but please, death is going to come way sooner at this rate. Nobody planned for this. So when we understand that what is happening right now is simply one more version of the truth, that the only thing to expect is the unexpected, we will suffer because we will resist this. We will say this is not how it should be. I should be in Italy right now. Oh no, you should not be in Italy. I should be in New York right now. Oh no, do not come to New York. I shouldn't be doing anything other than what I am doing. And that is the only wisdom that will allow us to flow with life. Any other way of living will cause suffering. So any idea that you have that you should be doing something else comes from your conditioned delusion, living in a fake bubble of certainty that you knew what was on the list. And you thought that on Wednesday, April 15th, you should be doing these things. Well, when you wrote those things down, you didn't wink to yourself that you really don't know, but you're faking it. You thought you were taking yourself so seriously. Well, now you're going to suffer. So this is the wisdom of the Tao. This is the wisdom of the Buddha. This is the wisdom of every mystical teacher out there, that you don't know. And while you have to live in this life and pretend you know, please know that that pretense is a pretense. So I always say, and I may have said this here before, that there was a reason I called my daughter Maya which means illusion. There was a solid reason that the only name I wished to call her was a name that meant illusion, that means illusion. And there's a reason. And the reason is that any ideation I have that I know who she is, that I know who she should become, that I know how her life should be, that I know that she's mine, that I know that she is a female that should be a woman of a particular kind, that I know who she should marry, that I know that if she should marry, that I know that she should be straight or gay or bi or trans, that I know anything at all. Please know, every time you look upon your daughter, that you don't know, because this is all an illusion. This knowing is an illusion. This is why I named her Maya, seriously. And especially when I'm angry and I call her Maya with force, then for sure in those times, I know even more with certitude that I'm now caught up in some delusion that I know anything. The reason why it's so pivotal to develop this perspective that you know nothing is not because you need to tell yourself that you're a fool. It's not that. You're not a fool. On the level of form, you can have your routine, you can have your schedule, you can have your bedtime and dinner time. 7 o'clock bedtime. 7 o'clock dinner time. And on Thursday, we shall have soup with broccoli and garlic bread. Great. Make your great plans. Sure, have your routine. At 7:45, we shall brush our teeth. And 7:47, we shall say the Lord's Prayer. And 7:52, eyes closed, gratitude and good night. Have it. Have a party. Orchestrate your symphony. Think you have control. While knowing that you really have no control. See, you have to do both. Have your grand delusion that you're the conductor and symphonic manager of your life. And that your life should be this harmony that has a beginning, a middle, a crescendo, and an end. Go ahead. Play the role of conductor. Have the power. But also know that all of that is a grand delusion and you're living in a fake bubble of certainty. So then when the bubble bursts, you're ready to greet the next moment with a smile because you already knew that that was an illusion. Now, if you haven't trained your mind, then there is a danger, which is where we all are, to believe that what we believe is the truth. And when we believe what we believe is the truth, we don't realize the fact that we have to believe it already means it's not true. Because if you have to believe something and you think it's true, the act of belief means it's not is. It's not the is. It's belief. I believe. Okay, believe. I can believe too. I believe that 10 dragons are flying right up in the sky. Let's go look. I believe 10 dragons with orange tails are right now flying above my house. Okay? And you can believe that roses, if crushed in the right way under the right temperature, will turn to gold. Go ahead, believe. But the fact is, we know that both these statements were not true because one can believe in anything, as we have believed in Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy and all sorts of hodgepodge nonsense. In the same way, to believe that you have control, believe. Go ahead. Believe it while knowing that the belief itself is in place because we don't know. If we knew, we wouldn't believe. You understand? Do you believe in gravity? Do you believe the sun is shining? No, you don't have to believe things that are in the isness of life. You only believe that which you don't have in the isness of life. So go ahead. So this belief that you know your future, that you can predict that this is what is good for you and your children in the future. And I believe it will be good if we move to New York. And I believe it will be good if you study science. Child, I believe that you should become an engineer. Okay. If you wish to talk like that about things that are not in the isness of the moment, but they are in the future, about somebody else or about life, go ahead. But understand when you are doing that you are in a fake bubble of delusion. Because the delusion is that you can be certain about a future that is not in the now. So this is really deep and really hard for us to let go of, I understand. Because we were all raised to know or to believe that we know, but we don't know. And this is the truth of it. And until we arrive at the fact is we can only know what is here now. The only control we have is in this moment right now. Now you have control, barely, in this moment. Why do we never have control over our lives? Why? The reason we don't is because we can never have control over our lives, because our life by nature is interdependent on other life. Our life by nature came into fruition through interdependence. And because it came into fruition through interdependence, by nature, it is constantly married to what I call X. I always say I go to sleep every day with X. What does that mean? Every day I go to sleep, and when I go to sleep, I think I'm sleeping on my own side of the bed, on my own cushion. I don't realize there's an X sleeping right there with me. Right now, you think it's only me in this room. No, it's me with X. What is the X? The X is the constant unknown of life. And if we don't understand that we are constantly betrothed, bewed, sleeping, loyal, in partnership with X, we will actually think it's just us who are the controllers of our lives. Then when X hits us, we think X is hitting us from the skies. X has always been next to you. X is right here with me right now, sitting in my lap, X. In fact, sometimes I can't even see you because X is in front of it. What that means metaphorically is that the unknown of life is the constant marital spouse, constant sex partner, constant bedfellow, constant child, constant parent, constant companion, constant best friend. The X is always with you. It is a part of you. Because your life, when you say, I want to have control over my life, right there, it's an illusion. Because my life is not a life. My life by nature is interdependent with life. Just by fact that my breath is your breath, as we're seeing now in this virus, and your breath can kill me, but your breath is somebody else's breath, is a bat's entity. It's coming from a freaking bat to show the interconnectivity. So when I say I want to have control over my life, you have to understand the word life is life, meaning it's brought into fruition through interdependence with other life. Therefore, there's always an X factor. So our failure to understand that we do not know this X by, what is X? X is the X variable. It's that X factor. We don't know what it is. It's inexplicable. It's intangible. It's unquantifiable. You cannot put it in a bottle. You can't put it on your list, right? All of us make lists about the man or woman we want to marry. Go ahead, make your list. One day I was with my friend, 200 things on his list. 200, okay? He had priority A, priority B, priority C. He's like, C is optional. I'd like most of B, and I definitely need A. Okay, I'm like, go ahead, sweetheart. A, B, C category. I'm like, A, B, C is with X, 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 X. They can be really good looking, but there's an X. They can be really accomplished. Oh, X, 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 right? You don't know the mother-in-law. You don't know the mother's garden. And in the garden, there's a thorn right now that if you step on that thorn, your entire foot is going to get infected. Yeah, you were marrying the good-looking guy. The good-looking guy came with the mother came with the garden came with this thorn has infected your leg. You can't walk anymore. Did you anticipate that? No, you didn't, because you were looking at the form. But you don't understand, with every form comes the formless. And the formless is this X factor of life. And if we don't embrace and expand our consciousness to understand that with every known is concomitant, exponential, unknown, we will constantly be surprised by life. We will constantly be shocked by life. We will constantly say, no. This was supposed to happen and this wasn't. It shouldn't have happened. It should not have happened. No, it should have happened. It was going to happen. We just couldn't see all those exponential X factors hidden because they were in the formless. We couldn't predict, you see. But we thought we could. We thought we married the good-looking doctor. Now we're set. What? No, we're not. We're not set at all. The good-looking doctor has a house which is about to have a ceiling that's going to hit your head. Did you know that? You should have married the not good-looking plumber because the plumber had a good house whose ceiling was not going to fall on your head. Did you know that? No, you didn't know that because you were only looking at things with your eyes and you thought you could predict with your eyes, with what the world could show itself through form, through the superficial. But life is full of this X, 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 X. So the only thing we can expect is the unexpected. The only knowing we can have is that we don't know. And now finding the still point, the groundedness in this inevitable ungrounding, groundlessness, not knowing, illusion, bubble, is wisdom. And now when you live in that wisdom, you come back to the present moment. And you go, there's no should that shouldn't be happening right now. Everything that's happening right now is coming through cause and effect that I cannot extricate right now. All I can do is respond to this moment in the most powerful, discerning, balanced way possible, so that this moment, this cause, becomes the next effect, becomes the next cause, becomes the next effect. And like I've said before, so inextricably entwined they are that you don't even know which was the cause, which was the effect, which was the cause, which was the effect. No point in even trying to figure it out. Just know cause is effect. Cause is effect. Did you know that the moment the Wright brothers, who made the first aviation template, way back whenever they did, right embedded in that template was 9/11. Embedded in that template was the spread of this virus on airplanes. Just get the metaphor of what I'm saying, yes? Don't blame the Wright brothers. What I'm saying is in every cause is the exponential, unpredictable effects. And we just don't know what they are. But be warned and be aware that with this solution to this virus, there will be some solution. With the solution, my friends, will come a whole host of new problems. And then we look for the solution to those problems. And then there'll come a no. This is the nature of life. So we all want to know when the story will end. Because we've been conditioned to think we know when the story began. We all have our own creation stories of when this began. Nobody knows when this began. And nobody will know when this will end. And this is the harsh, brutal, and benevolent truth of life. No one wants to accept it. No problem. But this is it. Energy was never created nor destroyed. It was always just there, always transforming. So you want to know how this will end. You want to know about you because we are in our own ego, because we think we are that relevant. We think we are the significant contributors to our own life. No, we're not. We're in this web that is cosmic, that is intergalactic, that is beyond ourselves, our form, our present moment. It has been in motion forever and will be in motion forever. There is no end point. You want to know when this will end. Okay, so there will be a cure for this virus. So what? It'll be there tomorrow. Do you know in the cure will be the start of the next virus, so to speak. The start of the next problem. You know this very well. I'll tell you in a practical way. You all remember when you got your first iPhone? I remember I was like salivating for it. When will I have my own iPhone so I can check my own email anytime I want? And now we all know this iPhone, as much as it's fabulous, it has rotted our children's brain. It has ruined the curvature of their spine. They do not even know how to look up anymore. Their entire neck is down. We have lost our children. They have been swallowed by the iPhone, so to speak. So there is no blessing without its curse. There is no duality in life. Everything is non-dual. Everything is one. You ask for the cure, right there is the next curse. So don't be in an illusion anymore that you want anything in your life. Because you want it, you're going to get something else with it. With everything you add comes a subtraction. This is the law of physics. This is the law of nature. As you give, you will have to be taken from, right? As you take, you will take from another, who will then take from another. It's just the way that the law of energy moves, the momentum through which it forms the next form. right? Take from somewhere, something else is added. Add from somewhere else it's taken. The forest will grow when you burn the old forest down. The child will be birthed when the mother's identity before childhood, before parenthood is decimated. Everything is in transformation. Everything is in flux. So we want to know the end game. There is no end game. There is no end point. It is never ending. So don't be in an illusion for the cure. Okay, the cure will come and then the next. Instead of waiting for the cure, understand there is no good nor bad really on the big spectrum of things. There is no beginning or end. There is no success or failure. There is no way for this to be other than the way it is. And our desire for it to be other than what it is our illusion, delusion to believe that we know that it should be a certain way because that way is good. We don't know anything. We don't know anything. But what we do know in the not knowing of anything is that we are here now. In this moment, right here, right now. And the challenge is to stay here. Is to stay here and allow this moment to work on us. To be open, receptive, surrendering to this moment. And asking ourselves, how can I show up now? How can I use this moment in the surrender of the knowing to be my best self? And that's all we can do. And that's all we could have always done in life. But we had this illusion that we knew. We never knew. We never knew anything anyway. We always were in the unexpected, the unanticipated, the unpredictable. Trust me, we never knew anything anyway. But sometimes life worked out and you had the perfect wedding and the perfect cake and the perfect bouquet and everyone behaved perfectly. So it gave you the illusion that you knew, but you didn't know. Because only 1% of our life really worked out the way we thought it would work out. That's why parenting is such a great wake-up call, because it certainly isn't working out the way we thought it would work out, right? So what is the secret of wisdom? What is the secret of this teaching? What is the secret of what this moment is here to show us? Is that we don't know. We can pretend we know. It was always a pretense. So now the lid of the pretense is off. Now we can't even pretend anymore. We really can see we don't know tomorrow. For the first time in our generation, we are truly not given the comfort. There is no illusion. There is no institution. There is no mommy or daddy to tell us we know tomorrow. For the first time in our lives, we are now suspended in the truth of the present moment. That we right here, right now, do not know the next moment. And boy, is it uncomfortable. Boy, is it scary, right? But this is the way we need to have always lived. So now, learning to tolerate this not knowing is the answer to life. It's the secret. It's the jewel. It's the pivotal piece, the missing piece of the puzzle. Is I'm here now. I don't know the next moment. And the realization that I never did. And now being comfortable, being alive, being awake, being full, right here, right now. This is the only way we always should have been living. So I'm going to read from the Tao De Ching. I've been reading from it for the past 6 days. So if you want to catch up to know what it is, who it is, how it is, look at my first video. I explain over there. So verse number 6. I'm going to do 2 verses because verse number 6 is really short. So I'm going to do 2. It says, the Tao is called the Great Mother, empty yet inexhaustible. It gives birth to infinite worlds. The Tao is called the Great Mother. The Tao meaning the way. What is the way? Present moment. Only the present moment is the entire way. Because only here, now, can we walk into our future. All future begins with the present moment. If you want to plan for the future, align to the present. Enter the present moment with awareness. So it says the Tao is called the Great Mother. The present moment is the Great Mother. What this means is the Great Mother is the mother without ego, the mother without a destination, the mother that just gives, that is just open to receiving, the mother that is the womb, the circle of life, the channel of life, the conduit, the birth canal of life. The present moment, if you enter it, it suddenly expands. It's not just the present moment in terms of time. It becomes this expansive space. If you enter the present moment, it becomes the Great Mother. Empty, because the present moment is just here now, nothing to it. but it's inexhaustible. When you enter the present moment, you think, it's just a moment. My goodness, but when you're aware and present in the present moment, suddenly the moment expands and time becomes timeless. It becomes limitless. Like a womb, the vaginal opening is so limited, and you're like, how the hell is a baby going to come out of this? But it just opens. This is nature. It's the conduit of life itself, and it's inexhaustible. You can have many children, mostly as a metaphor. It gives birth to infinite worlds. The potential is huge. You just don't realize it, because you can be anything right here, right now. You can be anything when you don't have an ego. It is always present within you. The present moment is always present within you. You can use it any way you want. Look what genius in these simple words. You can use the present moment any way you want when you don't have an idea of how it should be. When you release your ego around how it should be, the present moment is this great mother, infinite in its giving of many births. You can birth yourself any way you want if you don't attach to how things should be. If you're willing to morph, if you're willing to flow, if you're willing to be transformed, you can transform in this moment anyway. Just because life and culture tells you, no, you should be crying. No. Life and culture tells you, no, you should be married. No. Life and culture says you should have children. No. This is your moment. You can be it any way you like. But yes, in order for you to be it any way you like, you need to release all the ways you thought you should be liking it. No more shoulds. It is. It is. It is. It is. It is. And now when you enter the isness with infinite openness and receptivity, you can give birth to yourself any way you want. It just won't look like anything it should be. Number 7. The Tao is infinite, eternal. Why is it eternal? Because it was never born. Thus it can never die. Why is it infinite? Because it has no desire for itself. It has no desire for the should, for the ego. Thus it is present for all beings. The master is one, the wise one is one who stays behind. This is why she's always ahead. Because she doesn't look to be ahead. She's always just watching. The wise one knows, just watch. There's no ahead or behind. Just stand and watch. She's detached from all things. This is why she's one with all. Because she doesn't need to be this way, the way it should be. When you stop thinking you should be this and should be that and should be this, you're like, okay, I'm at peace with all. Muslim, Hindu, Jewish, boy, girl, straight, bi, left, right, skinny, fat, short, tall. It doesn't exist for the wise one because she's one with all. She's not caught up in the form of the superficial separations of life. Because she has let go of herself, she's perfectly fulfilled. Because she's let go of her egoic identity of how things should be, she is perfectly fulfilled. So I hope this made sense to you. I will be going to meditate on my other group in a bit. The link is up above. Join it. When you join it, you'll get notifications on when I go live in that group. And if you ask Facebook, I think, to give you notifications on when I'm live on this page, I think it will. I think Facebook knows how to talk to you if you want. So I will see you back here on this page at noon tomorrow. And if you want to meditate with me, join me on the other page. Thank you. See you tomorrow, I think. Wink, wink.